UFC 207 is rapidly approaching. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. Now, the main event I'm really interested in, and that's champion at bantamweight, Amanda Nunes, Brazilian striker, and she's coming off a hell of a performance over Miesha Tate. Really just dogged Miesha Tate, and Miesha Tate was a champion who beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey, and now Ronda Rousey's making her long-anticipated, long-awaited return. Now, as you guys seen in the title, Ronda Rousey was granted an exemption from participating in any of the media buildup, like the regular fighter press conference and like the media days, things that they do in boxing and in the UFC fight week to promote the fight. And I want to give my thoughts on this. I personally think it's bullshit because if you guys recall, Conor McGregor had an issue where he was in Iceland after he lost to Nate Diaz and the rematch was scheduled, and Dana White took him off of the UFC card, and then they replaced it, or tried to replace it, with John Jones Cormier or something, and then John Jones failed a drug test. But initially, I believe Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz was supposed to be the headliner on that particular UFC card, and Dana White put up this big fit because Conor McGregor says, I'm in Iceland, I sold all this money for the company, and I got to focus on beating this guy who beat me, gave me my first UFC loss, and that's Nate Diaz. So I'm honed in, I'm focused on the rematch, and I'll do the promotion other times, other fights. But for this fight, I need that get back, and I need to fully focus, and I don't have time to be promoting like I normally do. So cut me some slack. And Dana White was like, no, that's part of what your job is. You're a fighter. You got to promote the card, otherwise you're off of it. And that's exactly what he did. He took Conor McGregor off the fucking card, and Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz still fought, but it just wasn't on that particular card after Dana White and I guess Conor McGregor had to sit down after the fact. So to see this from Ronda Rousey, and she gets the exemption and she's allowed, I believe in equality. And this is just a male perspective. There's a lot of times women in different like male dominated industries, and they want to be treated the same. They want to be treated equal. And I'm all for that. I agree. Like, you know what I mean? You're a female fighter. You glove up just like the male fighters. So treat them equal. So how come Conor McGregor wasn't able to just fully focus after a loss, but Ronda Rousey, I guess because she's a female, and she got to talk to the powers that be and said, hey, I'm not showing up for none of this shit, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm anxious to see where Ronda Rousey's head is. I give credit to Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor, after the Nate Diaz loss, I know he had to be embarrassed. I mean, he's a shit talker. He's like, the guy holds animal balloons with the left and gang signs with the... He did all this trash talking, said he was going to ride into Stockton and slap people, and then he lost the first fight. But I respect Conor because as a true fighter, he made his bed and he lied in it. You know what I'm saying? And he did the rematch. He never ducked his head. He never like, I'm not doing interviews. But Ronda Rousey, she's been this recluse, and she kind of went off into the darkness after her loss to Holly Holm. And she did the same thing. She trash talked. She called Holly Holm a preacher's daughter's bitch and said she's going to knock her out and this and that. And the third, and that wasn't the case. Obviously, Holly Holm had a great game plan. The boxing background really helped her out, and she was just dominating Ronda Rousey. And then it seems like after that point, we seen a different Ronda Rousey, a more mentally fragile Ronda Rousey. She was on the Ellen show. She was crying. It looked like she had gained some weight. She was doing a couple high-profile interviews with like maybe Sports Illustrated or something occasionally, and she was saying like, I'm so sad, or on the Ellen show she said, I'm so sad, maybe I should just have Travis's babies, I'm nothing, I lost. And she was just depressed and taking the loss very, very hard, and she couldn't eat an apple, her jaw had to heal and stuff like that. I remember I seen a TMZ interview. I think they like followed her outside of the hospital after the Holly Holm thing, and she had like a hoodie over her face and it was covering her face. You couldn't even see that it was her. You know what I mean? She was like the Phantom of the Opera. Don't look at me. And it was just a whole different side of Ronda Rousey. Normally you see Ronda Rousey in like Entourage movie or Fast 7. She was like, oh, I'm not a do-nothing bitch. My mom told me not to be a do-nothing bitch. And I'm this and that. I'm strong and I'm empowered. And for the first time, we got to see some vulnerability. She took that loss and she took it hard and became a recluse and start showing a completely different side. We're not used to that. Like boxing fans and fight fans and stuff weren't used to seeing Ronda Rousey appear vulnerable. She was always like this strong badass who is a do-nothing bitch, or whatever the acronym is, DNB or whatever. And all of a sudden she switched up. And she seemed like she took the loss very hard. So she's in with the, I'm telling you guys right now, this is not a good sign for me. Amanda Nunes is no joke. I know she's kind of green. She just had one real significant win, and that was Amisha Tate became a champion. So she doesn't have necessarily the experience that Ronda Rousey has, but I don't know. I don't like this behavior, like you getting exemptions. I get it to a degree, like, okay, you want to focus, you don't want any kind of distractions, and you want to be fully prepared. But what if you do all this, miss the media day and the media workouts that every other fighter, no matter if they're coming off of losses or wins or whatever, they still have to participate in, including Conor McGregor. And again, like I said earlier in this video, he tried to do the same thing and Dana White said no. So I don't know. I don't like that. I feel if females want to be treated equally, that's fine. They deserve that. But treat them equally across the board. You know what I mean? Dana White should have done the same thing. He shouldn't be like, oh yeah, she cried on Ellen, or her loss, she's taking it challenging, so she gets to flex a little muscle and say, I don't want to show up, and I'm going to approve that and I'm going to okay that. You know what I'm saying? What if she does all this, doesn't go to the workouts and stuff, and what if she still loses? It's going to be a hard road for her if she takes another loss. I mean, I give Ronda Rousey credit for fighting Amanda Nunes off of a year-plus layoff. I think the loss was in November. So yeah, it's a little bit over a year, I would say. And she's coming back fighting the girl that has her old belt, and a girl who looks very vicious and very dangerous on the stand-up game. Ronda Rousey, I've seen her shadow boxing and stuff. Her stand-up is not where it needs to be, you know what I mean, in comparison to the top level strikers, the Cyborg, who I think has some issues with the potential failed drug test or something with USADA, and girls like Amanda Nunes. It's just not like her boxing technique, the way she throws punches. I'm surprised she hasn't like got a real dope boxing coach. You know what I mean? I would even turn into the world of boxing and try to get like a Floyd Mayweather Sr. level person, maybe even a Freddie Roach if you hate the Mayweathers or something. But I don't like the way she turns her punches and stuff like that. And you're in there with a dangerous striker. You better try to take this shit to the mat ASAP and go back to what you know best, the judo, and try to put her in the armbar and end this like you did previous fights. But I don't know. It's kind of concerning to me when fighters, you know what I mean, you can't make the media workings. I understand trying to get in the zone, but I mean, how much space you need? You've been out of the public eye for the most part for about a year. You know what I mean? You're doing Reebok commercials saying fear the return and I'm coming back and nobody's perfect and I don't care, I don't want to be perfect, but then you can't make this. And then I heard they did the it was UFC 205 when they were promoting that particular card, the Madison Square Garden. They had Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes do a face-off real quick, and the two squared off in, I think, in New York or whatever. And after, I heard Ronda Rousey was like shaken up or something. You guys can Google it and research it, but I heard someone had to calm her down. So I don't really like this, like from a champion. Things like this happen, losses happen, and you have to be built for tough to bounce back from that. So the just certain behavior, how she wasn't doing interviews and she kind of just disappeared, and I'm really checking for this fight. I'm not saying she doesn't have a chance or anything like that, but just the demeanor and the mannerism, she doesn't seem as confident, like she needs more time away and can't do media obligations that everyone else has to do. Things like that to me are concerning. I'm not trying to look too far into situations. Maybe it's nothing, but it's concerning hearing all these things like she doesn't want to do the press related stuff. After they did the face off, she was shaken up and she had to be like calmed down, had a panic attack or whatever happened. So I don't know what Holly Holm did to her with them kicks, but it sounds like she's putting a lot of pressure on herself, and maybe she should have took a tune-up fight before a fight like this, because the way it's seeming, this is kind of an all or nothing type of fight. Because if your confidence isn't what it once was, that's part of what made you this destructive force, this female cyborg, this not cyborg, Chris Cyborg, but this female machine, you know what I mean, is your confidence. And once a fighter loses that, then it's a tough climb back up. See, the thing with Conor McGregor is he just kind of got back to the basics. He started trying to improve his striking and pace himself. And when he came out in the Nate Diaz rematch, he came out very methodical. And you notice his confidence never really appeared to leave. Maybe deep down inside or something that he buried, but he did a pretty good job of not showing it, because he was talking shit in the Nate Diaz rematch build up and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, because like I said, I really don't know where Ronda Rousey's head's at, but if she's not fully confident like she once was, this could turn out to be a better fight to close the year than what we expect, and another upset. I mean, I don't know the betting odds if Ronda Rousey is the underdog or whatnot, but I would imagine, just because she's one of the UFC's cash cows, I would imagine she might be the favorite, even though she's coming off of a loss. But I don't know. I haven't researched it. I don't know. Weird behavior, this reclusive behavior. I guess it could be good if she just really dialed in, but it sounds a little bit weird that she's doing all of these things and kind of being so distant with the media. Like, these are things you have to deal with. Pacquiao in boxing, he got knocked out brutally, right? Came back, he fought Brandon Rios. He still had to promote in Macau, China, and wherever else they went. And he still had to do his HBO specials and regular routine stuff. So the fact that Ronda Rousey feels above participating in this is very concerning. Like, and it might even hurt the card, you know what I mean? Because it's a brand new arena, that's good. It's the only real other big fight to close off the year. So they have that working in the favor. But people want quotables, people want interviews, people want to hear from both fighters. Amanda Nunes, I don't even know if her English is A1 like that. So people would want to go to the media day and talk to Ronda Rousey, ask her questions. But see, to me, that I don't know. This whole behavior is suspect to me, because I heard another thing with Ronda Rousey. I heard she made a statement that can't nobody ask a question. Nobody can ask questions about Chris Cyborg. Otherwise, they'll get kicked out or some shit like that, or whatever would happen. I don't know. So media couldn't ask about Chris Cyborg. It's weird to me. It's almost like weak-ish behavior. Like you know people are gonna ask you about Holly Holm, but you got to be that's a reality. That's in the history books. You know what I'm saying? So no one could change that. You can't go back in the past. The only thing you do is move forward. So to me, it just seems a little bit weak and vulnerable and meek that she's not prepared to deal with the media. You know what I mean? You know they're going to ask you about Holly Holm and your training and how you bounce back and how you cope with it. That just comes with the territory. You took a loss. I mean, we all seen it. It's on tape. So even if you don't go to the media day, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't change shit. You still got knocked out and dominated by Holly Holm, who later lost 2 times in a row. You know what I mean? So facts are facts. So it doesn't, to me, I think one of the stronger things to do is to find peace and kind of bury the hatchet. Go to your media days. Be strong enough, mentally strong enough to face the public and face the media scrutiny and the questions and the doubts. That's all comes with the territory when you take a loss. You're in a competitive and grueling sport. Let me know what you guys think. Ronda Rousey will not be in attendance for any of the media stuff pre-weigh-in like the regular fighters. But it's a solid card. You have Dillashaw, Cruz. some other people on the card, so they'll be there. Amanda Nunes. Let me know what you guys think. Drop in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.